What's up, guys? Gold Gaming here, back with another video. So today we're going to be doing the next video in my How to Blitz series. Today we are looking at heavy tanks. Now, before we get into it, let me go ahead and mention this is going to be a two-part video for heavy tanks. And the reason why is because I want to go in depth on the two different types of heavy tanks. There's two different playstyles there's really three. But we're going to focus on two of them. We're going to categorize most of them down to two levels. First one, which we're looking at today, is going to be your frontline hull down heavy tanks. Those obviously consist of, say, the Kranvagon, the E100, IS-4, IS-7. Drop down to like tier 9, you got the E75, you've got the VK... I don't remember the numbers. You got the Maushin. You even drop down to tier 6. You got the ARL 15. There's a good example there, or not ARL, the ARL 44. You've got the what is it in tier 7? Not necessarily the Smasher, but you get the point. The second part, which is going to be probably going to be later in the future, is going to be your rear turreted tanks, like your FE215B, the VK9001, the VK7201, I think it is, a tier 10, and then the line, down before that. So there's two different playstyles in heavy tanks, and yes, they're similar in some ways, but there's a different way to play them. So today we're obviously going to be looking at, your front line, your big meaty hold down frontline heavies. I've got two replays for you. We've got me and the Kranvagon. We're on Hellas, and I'm going to be showing you good frontline action. Well, we're more second line than we are frontline, but we're going to hold a position and we're going to bounce a couple of shots. The next replay we'll get to in a moment. What we're going to talk about in this video is going to apply towards all your heavy tanks, with the exception of your rear to turreted tanks. Heavy tanks. While the video is going in the background, heavy tanks, you want to play, depending on the armor profile, it all depends on the armor profile, you want to play them front line, in the front, absorbing most hits, because you got hit points. Kranvagon here, I think I have the other, the improved assembly instead of the enhanced armor. So Kranvagon has 2,800 BP or hit points. Your mouse has 3,000 hit points, 3,180 hit points, and then you got like your FE, which has 2,500 roughly. So it all depends. So your main objective is to sit towards the front, absorb, balance as many shots as you possibly can while dealing damage. You have high alpha, unless you're playing something like the FE, which has a 400 alpha, or no, 420. And then you also got like your WZ as well. WZ, that's another topic as well. You want to angle. Angling is going to be your best friend in a heavy tank. We're going to see that a lot in the second replay. So in this replay, as you can see, we got the Maushin over there who is absorbing a lot of the hits. We've got, and then there is me who is putting fire. I'm creating a crossfire. I'm preventing the E3 and the STI over there from pushing onto our mouse. They're about to do it here pretty soon. I think they're going to get one more shot in. We are down a tank, as you can see, and we just took out the E75. That also reminds me, the armor profile of heavy tanks. You're always going to have, and this goes for all tanks in the game, you're always going to have more armor in the front of your tank than you are going to have on the sides and the rear. So, with the exception of your flat surface tanks like the Jaegeru, the E100 and stuff, you want to face the enemy direct on, like I did there. By facing that E3, I bounced him. And that's a big gun to bounce. So, but like tanks like your E100, which I will get in the future, I'm going to be grinding up that here soon. With that flat surface, you want to angle that surface. You want to always not be looking at your enemy until you're going to shoot at them. Alright, so this replay was a little short. This was a third class, 2.5k damage, 1,000 credits with our 1 kill, and going over to the team, we were third from the top. Let's get on to the next replay. Alrighty, here we are. We got, Trenzum 1 Defender. He said this to me, about a week ago, saying, hey, I got this replay. I want you to look at it. I want you to, say what I did wrong, see what I did good, and I was going to put this in just a normal replay, but I felt, you know what, I'm going to use this. So I am going to skip up to here. He said something about bouncing some other tanks, so, yeah. So, back to what I was saying. The E75, this is a really good example. The E75 has a very flat turret. To standard ammunition, you're going to bounce a lot, especially from medium tanks. Once you reach those high caliber tanks like your tank destroyers and, you know, other heavy tanks, it becomes a easier surface to pen. E75 is not a good example because once you turn that turret too much, your sides become weak. It's just the way it is. So, but like when you get up to the E100, it's all flat surface, it's all flat, it's a big box, so you want to angle, and he's going to do a really, really good job angling. So, straight off the bat, I'm not going to talk about the replay when we talk about heavy tanks. Heavy tanks in normal, as you guys should know, they're more slow, they're easier to be circled, but they got those bigger guns. They're not necessarily tank destroyer guns with your high 152 or 155, 640 alpha, with the difference between 100, of course. You're not going to worry about doing too much damage. Your main job is to be frontlining and absorbing as many hits as you can to allow your medium tanks and light tanks to flank around. So, a good example of what not to do is obviously show your rear to any tank, no matter what you are. But you can do things like this to the lower profile tanks. If you show your front to them and you don't give them any room to do anything, you're going to they're going to have trouble going through. Now, look at this. This is what I want to show you. He is angled at just the right angle, this K91, will have to switch to Pramo to get through. And even the lower plate was still trouble to get it through. And even when he's about to attack, he goes straight in. That right there, you probably could have been prevented if he was angled upright. And he probably could have hit that shot if he aimed, but we're not going to worry about it. If you get angles like that, people are going to go through. He got lucky, he hit the tracks, but as long as you're at an angle like he is now, he's about to turn to this Kranvagon. I think Kranvagon is about to put a shot. Yeah, there we go. You see, the way he's coming in at, I want to say, a 20-degree angle. He's keeping the gun, he's basically, when he's aiming at the tank, he's keeping the gun in between the track wheels in a side-scraping position. You're not going to get through that angle. But when you play like the Kranvagon, not angling it, well, Kranvagon is a different story. It's got a pike nose. That's the other parts. The E75, the Kranvagon, they have pike noses. They're difficult. They're very difficult to play. The Kranvagon, the IS-7, the IS-8. What is another one? There's another one. The T-22 is another good one. When you have those pike noses on the front, you have to face the enemy directly, make it harder for them to get through. Yeah. So, this replay, this was a second class. He did get the steel wall from the bounces. He did 2k damage, made 8,000 credits with 2 kills. And going over to the team, he was 4th from the top in terms of damage. Alrighty. So, to wrap this up, heavy tanks, and I do promise I will redo a video on this with some better footage and stuff and go a little more in depth into it. But to sum it up, heavy tanks, you want to play frontline. You want to absorb as many hits as you can to allow your medium tanks to be able to get a flank, to move around the map. You want to distract the enemy as much as you can. you want to always keep your front towards them, because you're more likely to bounce when you have your front towards them. But you also want to angle. You want to come in at an angle, and you want to never poke until you're going to take a shot. The next thing is you got to realize you're not fast. Unless you're the FE215B, you are not going to be able to outmaneuver any tank whatsoever. So you have to realize that. So when you're getting circled, back up into a corner, you know, keep up to a wall, keep them from going through, do whatever you can. And last but not least, just be there for the team. That's going to be your biggest hope. Yeah, so if you have watched up to this point, as you obviously see with the replay that is running in the background, I have the TVP. So the next video that goes up is going to be the TVP, so keep a lookout for that. You're in for a little surprise with that, because I really enjoy that tank. But enough of that. If you did like, go ahead and drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified when I upload in the future. Want to send me replays? I got a link down in the description. Take you to my Discord channel. Our Discord channel, where you can post any replays in the respective server. I know I got that backwards after I said it. And, I also got my email down there, email replays, of course with the short description, like how much damage, what tank, and what map, and we'll see if we get them onto the channel. And until next time, we'll see you on the battlefield.